oh, I'm gonna piss some people off today. Now I get loads of dipshits in my DMs and comments. It's just an occupational hazard of being a content creator, especially in the political world. And while mega morons in my comments are definitely the dumbest motherfuckers on the face of the planet, I don't really mind them that much. In fact, I've gotten a lot of good content at their expense. But the most insufferable incels on Al Gore's internet aren't on the right, although they might as well be. It's that one specific subsection of pro-Palestinian armchair activists, and most of you are probably going like, oh yeah, no, I know exactly who you're talking about. But if you're not doing that, and that statement just offended you, then it's you. And we all fucking hate you. We hate you because instead of ever going out and doing anything productive with your sad, pathetic little lives, you just troll the left side of the internet and post comments like this. Are you accepting money in exchange for posting about certain things and not about Israel and the genocide? Now, believe me, I would love to be accepting money for literally anything. That would be great because I have bills. But since I'm not a right-wing influencer who can be getting rich off of rubles, and the left has never seemed to find it important to put together any type of infrastructure for social media creators, and when they did, y'all threw a fit that it was some dark money conspiracy or some bullshit. So for most of us, we're just out here doing it for the love of the game because apparently we enjoy being berated by nut jobs and armchair activists like you. So now when I get these comments, or any of my mutuals get these comments, which we do a lot, I usually just assume it's a Russian bot or a paid conservative shill trying to cause infighting on the left. Because, you know, that's exactly what Elon and conservative media did the entire election. And it's hard for me to imagine somebody so pathetically insufferable that they would run around the internet doing this authentically. But apparently I have way too much faith in humanity because when I asked Lewis if he was accepting money to run around posting dumb shit on the internet or if he was a Russian bot, he responded, I'm genuinely curious. The fuck you are. Do you support Palestine and condemn Israel during this genocide? Can you condemn Israel explicitly? You say you care about what your audience wants. This is what we want. First off, shut the fuck up, Lewis. You don't speak for my audience as you are not part of them, evidenced by the fact that you don't follow me. When I went to see if you followed me and were genuinely a part of my audience, I realized that you are sadly a real person. And judging from your shitty lip sync videos all by yourself, I don't think anybody's paying you for anything. I can't imagine you're some covert member of conservative media, but hey, their standards are very low, so who knows? But the reason that I know that you're a disingenuous piece of shit asking disingenuous questions who's never been a member of my audience is because any member of my audience would know that I have been very vocal about my position on this matter for years. Anybody who is genuinely curious could have figured it out with a few seconds of searching. I know because I went and Googled off-the-wagon Gaza and it brought up a lot instantly. In fact, I was reintroduced to videos I forgot I made because I've made so many of them since I started making them a few weeks after the October 7th attack, where I started with an in-depth video about the history of Israel and how it became to be what it is today. Then video after video after video, every time there was something new to talk about on the topic. Like when I talked about how it was fucked up when Israel functionally moved the capital from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, or when I went into detail explaining the differences between anti-Zionism and anti-Semitism, or the multiple videos I made raising money for a Palestinian family. What have you done there, Lewis? Just bitched in my comments and patted yourself on the back about being a big boy social justice warrior? And not only do I have a ton of direct videos about it, I mention it in passing in regular videos all the fucking time. Not only when I'm talking about current events and how issues over there relate to that in the current moment, but I also do a political figure series where every single Wednesday I highlight a political figure where if I can find any information about the stances, voting record, or financial ties that political figure has to this particular topic, I specifically highlight it and make clear how I feel about it. Anybody who's a member of my audience would know that because I do it every fucking week, Lewis. In fact, running down this little rabbit hole you sent me on to just see how fucking obvious it is where my stance is on this topic, I rediscovered a Chris Christopherson video I did right after he passed away. In that video, I was talking about how Chris was doing benefit concerts for Palestinian children long before keyboard protesters like you made it your entire fucking personality. And Lewis, it's appropriate that your initials are double L because if this L wasn't a big enough one for you, I got another one coming. You didn't even have to watch my videos to figure this out. You could have strolled over to Threads, clicked on my replies, and scrolled a little bit. Because I did that, and I scrolled back a couple weeks and found at least a dozen instances where I called out Zionists for genocide. And since most of the shit Zionists post is just big pictures of Nazi propaganda, it should have been real easy for your Crayola crunching ass to pick out. I have lost personal friends over my stance on this issue, which is a sacrifice I'm sure you don't understand because you'd have to have friends to lose them. But that is a personal sacrifice that I have made because I have publicly made my stance on this issue that well known. So fuck you and fuck every single person like you. Because you and people like you have blood on your hands. You're directly responsible for more dead Palestinian kids than there would be if you didn't exist. But I'm sure you know that, and you don't actually care because it was never about the genocide. Nah, with you people, it has always been about your sad, pathetic, lonely, desperate attempt to get attention and your incessant narcissistic need to feel morally superior to everybody else. For people like you, dead kids are a prop for your pathetic personality because it's always been about you and only you. And in the name of stroking your own ego, because God knows knows nobody else will stroke anything for you. People like you are willing to sabotage any imperfect but realistic path towards harm reduction and progress. And because you're willing to pick, fight, sabotage, and cancel any left-leaning creator or politician you deem is imperfect or doesn't pass your purity test, or even if they do pass your purity test because clearly I should have and that didn't stop you from tapping away with your little dick beaters in my comment section, you doing this bullshit didn't just throw Palestinian kids under the bus, it threw your friends and neighbors and members of your own goddamn community under the bus. Because now women are losing their access to life-saving care and corpses are having to carry babies to term. Trans people have been kicked out of the military and the government is actively trying to classify them as mentally ill. The government is actively kidnapping people from their homes and places of work and they are disappearing. The military is occupying U.S. cities, Medicaid and life-saving social services are getting cut. We have one of the world's most notorious pedophiles as fucking president. And we have all that because people like you decided that none of that was nearly as important as you being able to pat yourself on the back because you voted for Jill Stein or didn't vote or whatever the fuck you thought was more important. And now because we have literal fascism we have to deal with thanks to you and nobody's paying attention to your stupid little antics anymore, you are so desperate to get that attention back that you've lost that you're running through left-leaning creators' content sections. Many content creators who have spent untold thousands of hours trying to prevent everything that's happening now from happening, and since you made sure it did happen, spending untold thousands of hours more trying to fix the fuck-ups that people like you are largely responsible for, you have the fucking audacity to accuse us of being paid to not talk about something that we have been very fucking vocal about. How fucking dare you? And you, Louis, supposedly a gay Latino man, ought to be more ashamed than most. So yeah, I will say again, as I had said countless times before, at the risk of losing my account because accounts get banned for saying this, I condemn the Israeli genocide of Palestinians and their illegal occupation of Gaza. And it's too fucking bad that you and people like you support it while pretending you're against it. So y'all need to get the fuck over yourselves and get the fuck on board or the fuck out of the way because people are fucking dying as a result of your bullshit and we don't got time for your bullshit anymore.